Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling what is probably the biggest question there is. What happens to our consciousness when the body fails?
Yeah.
And we had a request for this one, specifically for fast, clear, and, well, unromantic knowledge.
Right. No poetry.
No poetry, no debating faith. We're just looking at a stack of sources that describe the continuity of the consciousness stream. The goal here is strictly forensic.
The underlying engineering blueprint.
Exactly. We're stripping away all the cultural packaging to look at the process, the physics of it. Okay, let's unpack this.
And that framing, that objective view is just so necessary because the second you bring personal belief or religious doctrine into it, the whole analysis just collapses.
Right.
So we have to define the soul for this conversation, not as some ethereal thing, but as pure, continuous, energetic momentum. We're focusing only on that consciousness stream, the non-physical system, and what happens when it's, unplugged from its hardware.
So let's dive right in. The sources describe this first moment, this inner inventory. And it's not this peaceful, life flashing before your eyes thing.
Yeah.
They describe it as violent.
Yeah.
An involuntary exposure.
Yeah.
They suggest a mental exercise to even get a glimpse of it. Take a deep breath, drop all the noise, drop your identity, and just let your mind run completely wild.
Uncensored.
Uncensored.
Oh, yeah.
What comes out is what they call the raw, naked essence of the mind.
And it's not peaceful. I mean, how could it be? It's a storm of incompletion.
So what's in that storm? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about psychic debt, really. All the unfinished desires, the pending emotions you pushed down, the regrets you distracted yourself from.
The longings you never even admitted to yourself.
Exactly. All of that suppressed stuff.
It's like pulling the plug on a computer with 1,000 programs still running.
That's a perfect analogy. It's all that internal chatter that was always there, but you drowned it out with the business of having a body.
Like hunger or work.
Right. The unspoken sentences, the ambitions that died on day one, that corrosive guilt. And the most powerful part, those active thoughts about the person you wish you had been.
Or the things you wish you had done.
That accumulation of wanting, that's your cargo. That's the only thing that traveled.
Oh, the body drops. All the distractions just stop. And this intense, overwhelming chaos is still there. But now you try to, open your eyes or speak.
And you can't. The hardware is gone.
And the sources are incredibly clear about what isn't there anymore.
Yes. The negation is what's key. When the body is gone, what's left is pure energetic residue. You are only tendencies, only impressions, only momentum.
An echo.
A profound echo, yes. The shape of the sound, but not the air that carried it. There's no skin, no physical boundary, no tongue to speak with, no face to present a role to the world.
And your identity.
Gone.
Wow.
Instantly. Because that identity was completely tied to a physical and social contact. You're not Submit. You're not a mother, a father, a lover, a seeker.
All the labels that gave you structure.
They're all gone. All that's left is the velocity and direction of the energy that drove all those roles.
And that idea that you're not a person anymore, you're just pure momentum, that leads right into the uncomfortable truth that pretty much challenges every story we tell ourselves about death.
Mm-hmm.
We all have this deep-seated hope that death is a release, an upgrade.
A reset. That the suffering ends, the slate is wiped clean, and you move on to some peaceful, enlightened place. We believe death transforms us.
But the source material is just.
Yeah.
It's completely uncompromising on this. It says, flat out, death changes nothing. Only your body changes.
And that's why the transition is so often described as turbulent, psychologically intense.
Because the chaos is still there.
The inner chaos, the residue of all your mental and emotional habits, it's all exactly as it was. Your obsessions, your fears, your addictions, attachments, resentments, all of it.
Wait, I need to push on that.
Yeah.
You mentioned the body being an anchor. If the mind is a storm, how does the body stabilize it? Wouldn't a mind freed from physical pain actually find more peace?
That is such an important question. The body acts as a mechanism of friction, of limitation. It forces your mind to slow down.
Wow.
Think about it. If you have a powerful, consuming desire while you're alive for a person, an achievement, whatever, the body forces you to spend 99% of your time on other things.
Eating, sleeping, working.
Exactly. Physical necessities that create a boundary. Without that boundary, without that friction, thought instantly becomes reality. Desires, obsessions, fears. they accelerate exponentially.
So a small anxiety becomes a massive terror.
An all-consuming terror, because there's nothing physical to ground it or distract you from it. The body, paradoxically, was the very thing containing the misery.
Wow.
So when that anchor is gone, the storm is just unleashed. Its velocity increases. What's fascinating here is that the psychological suffering can actually increase right after death because there's no physical brake pedal anymore.
Okay, so if the chaos remains
Yeah.
and the body's stabilizing function is gone, then that momentum has to go somewhere.
I'd ask you.
Which brings us to the mechanics of rebirth. Why does this intense energy pull you back?
Again, you have to look past the usual stories. It's not punishment. It's not some, cosmic accountant settling a karma ledger.
And it's not just because the scripture says so.
Not at all. The mechanism is described as entirely self-driven. The momentum of that inner inventory, those unaddressed cravings, they act like a powerful magnet.
So it's a pull, not a push.
It actively drags you back. The analogy they use is a magnet pulling iron filings. The incompletion itself is the magnetic charge.
Okay, let's go deeper on that charge. How does a general feeling of, say, resentment translate into finding a specific new life? Is it a conscious choice?
It's not conscious in the way we think of it. It's driven by whatever your most powerful, unfulfilled tendency was at the moment you died.
So it was a deep resentment.
Then that specific energy, that vibration, will be pulled toward a compatible environment where that same energy can play out again. The momentum just seeks the path of least resistance to continue itself.
So you get a new body, a new script, new circumstances.
But the fundamental mind stream, the velocity, the direction, the charge is exactly the same. It's just a continuation of the same old story.
Which means we're not talking about reincarnation as some grand restart where you remember everything. It sounds more like the continuation of a habit loop.
That's it, exactly. And if we boil this all down, it forces us to redefine what we actually carry forward.
Right. So what are we taking with us?
Okay, so you don't take your memories, the narrative of your life. You take momentum, the raw velocity of your habits.
Okay.
You don't take your identity or your job title. You take unfulfilled tendencies, the energetic blueprint of who you wanted to be but weren't.
And you don't take your life story.
You take your cravings,
Yeah.
the raw force of your wanting. You don't return because you were judged. You return because of incompletion. The self's desire to fulfill its own momentum drags it back into a body.
That puts all the responsibility right back on us here and now. It's saying that waiting for death to fix your problems is, well, it's a deeply flawed plan.
A terrible strategy.
If death doesn't solve anything and your inner state just carries right on, then the final realization here is it's stunningly direct, actually. Death doesn't liberate you, awareness does. It's only by dealing with these compulsive tendencies while you have the body, while you have that anchor, that you can change the trajectory.
That is the core of it. It completely flips the script. The work isn't about waiting for some mythical upgrade after you die. The work is to stabilize the mind so completely right now that when the anchor finally drops, the momentum is already at zero.
So there's nothing left to pull you back.
Nothing. Which raises an important question for you to think about based on everything we've unpacked today.
Okay.
If that energetic momentum is the driving force, what's happening during that void delay period, that interval between losing the old anchor and getting a new one? If thought is instant and desire is amplified, what kind of consciousness exists in that gap? And consider the implications of really intense unfinished business. Profound addiction, deep trauma, a consuming fear. How might that focus the energy so tightly that an entity gets, well, stuck? Not in a fiery hell, maybe, but just suspended by a powerful material craving that has no outlet. That intensity suggests a whole other layer to this process that might be worth exploring.